Wednesday evening, and welcome to the mainstream racing series, race 17 of 22. It's crucial time, it's crunch time. The final third of the second MI season is on. Points get more and more important, points get more and more crucial in the last third of the season. And with that, a very warm welcome during the summer warmth. And we will turn to a usually warm place too. We are here at Gas Tonight in Melbourne, Australia. So the grid is slowly but steadily filling up. We have 16 drivers in the lobby. That is about the same amount of drivers that have ticked as available for. We will see if there might be one or two reserves who want to join us. We will see. And yeah, welcome Andrew Mont, my first guest in the chat box. You say it, I missed. Yep, last Wednesday was my first ever MRS race to miss. So yeah, there's always a first time, and it was very sad for me. I had a holiday, so I was in vacation, so that was the positive side of me missing a race. But I didn't miss it entirely because I was watching the personal stream of David Lawson, who maybe ignored me a bit. I don't know if he actively ignored me or if he just didn't recognize that I was commentating in his live video. Anyway, I saw at least a little bit of the chaos that was going on in the rain of Baku last week. And this could be an event to follow us for tonight. Australia, Melbourne is a very difficult track, even though it is ruled as very easy by Codemasters, but that is totally not true because the track is hard with a lot of medium pace turns and the walls are close. That is even more important. The walls are close, just like maybe in Montreal. There's always 1, 2, maybe 3 meters of grass and then a hard barrier. The lap record is still dating back to Michael Schumacher in 2004. 5.3 kilometers, 16 turns. Yeah, track difficulty very easy. That is definitely not right. Here are the assists that we drive with. Most important is the fact that the pit assists both are off. That means you have to maintain the right velocity when turning towards the pit lane, as well as getting out of the pit exit in the right lane. And what else is important? We have 18 minutes qualifying followed by a 50% race distance. What are, I think, 28 laps or something similar here in Melbourne. Full damage, no ghosting, VSC safety car, full rules and flags, all that is set to on. We have regular corner cut. We are one of the very few leagues that run on regular. Not because we want our drivers to create unique lanes, but because we do not want our races decided by penalties. And the weather is dynamic, and that is a topic in Melbourne, and Peter Simpson knows exactly what I'm talking about. That is the bridge to the second big topic here tonight, our overall championship. Peter Simpson has grabbed the lead again by 1 point. 1 single point is the lead here in race 17 over Thomas Walsh. And last year he was battling another Walsh, that was Dominic Walsh. And Melbourne was the last race in the season, and it all looked very, very comfortably, totally in favor of Simo. And right here on the parking lot, 5 laps before the end, in the incoming rain, Peter Simpson spun out and gifted the championship to Dominic Walsh. Yeah, there was a very intense, very dramatic first MI season, and it just peaked, totally peaked right here on the parking lot of Melbourne, 5 laps before the end of the season. And tonight is not the season finale, but it looks just as dramatic as it was last year, with just 1 point splitting Zemo from a rival called Walsh. So here we are in the pit lane of our qualifying session. Right now it looks maybe a bit cloudy, but definitely dry. One familiar name who has rejoined us for tonight. That is Ryan Price in one of the Mercedes. Ryan Price, long-time MIS member, long-time regular driver. He was, he demoted himself to reserve as he just did not have enough time lately to commit to an every day or every week race. But for tonight he's back, and that is good to have him back. And the first one to go on outlap is the Williams of Blake Gary. There he is. Little tradition of mine to stay with the first driver who is leaving the pit lane, even though the camera shows us something totally different right now. Yep, there we are. Focused on the Williams of Blake Gary. So as I mentioned it, the championship rivalry that is always a thing to watch, and it cannot be decided right now, but it is very tight, it is very close, and we have, after tonight, we have 5 races left, so still everything possible in almost every way, but I suppose it will go down as just a 2-man duel, just Peter Simpson versus Thomas Walsh, because third man would be Jack Rocknan, and he is already around 50 points away, so yeah, I doubt that Rocknan has the pace and luck, of course, to make up this big ground, to make up this big gap. And now we focus on the first hot lap drive from Blake Gary. The long main straight, right and left, a long kind of chicane turn combination, then the second de-ice zone, and onto the parking lot, right where I mentioned where Simpson lost the championship, and sweeping a right-hander, then we turn towards the end of sector 1, that is right here. Blake Gary seems a little chumpy, would not be the first time that our youngster, the youngest man in the series, is struggling a bit with internet connection issues. This turn will not exist anymore in the new game. Turn 9 will be refigured, reshapen when we have the real life race in Australia in November. Blake Gary, I think he touched the barrier there a little bit, and this long and fast chicane, turn 11-12, has turned out to be a graveyard, a Formula 1 graveyard in multiple Australia races that I have been broadcasting. So we have to watch this place in the race then. And one long right-hander, and then it is all set and done for Blake Gary, while Nevis Ikic has crashed his car. Nevis Ikic is out. And it was yellow in sector 2, at the end of sector 2, and this might be right, this point where I mentioned already. No, he was ahead. He crashed his car right here. The track marshals already vanished him. It was right here where Nevis Ikic has crashed, just on the Peter Simpson's championship graveyard. And yeah, Gary is definitely jumpy. That is not so good, but we'll see how this will go down in the race then. Meanwhile, we have our first pole setter, that is Jagger Rognian with a 120.9. Already multiple seconds faster than the real life lap record. And then Thomas Walsh in second, Ryan Price in third, even ahead of our reigning champion, still reigning champion, Dominic Walsh. New pole setter now is Ricky Kuau, being half a second faster than Rognian. Dominic Walsh fifth, Grimo 7, Janne van der Brill, Grimo, van der Brill, Taylor, Andrew Mond and Peter Simpson all tried their first lap on mediums, but especially Mond and Simpson definitely not competitive. 5.7 and 7.7 seconds. And just when I say it, Peter Simpson has posted his second hot lap on this set of mediums, giving him P3. That is not bad. Just 6/10 behind Ricky Kuau. That is a good time from Peter Simpson, our pole king. And I doubt that this will be good enough for Zemo. I expect him to try again on softs and conquer the pole position. Yeah, what else is important? We will see in these last races. Battle in the midfield, battle for the positions in our overall classification. Then the battle for third is on. Jagger Rognian, 168 points. Then Kantan with 151. Dominic Walsh, 149. So these three drivers are within 19 points. And those drivers usually tend to finish in the points. That means once one of these drivers should DNF, the others will catch up very fast, I would like to suppose. And then there is a big fight for P12. David Lawson sitting in 12th, our host at the moment, with 45 points. And then we see Mike Taylor, Blake Gary, Ricky Kuau and Mark Goodman, and all of them are within 2 points. So P12 until P16 separated by just 2 points. And this will be a big fight for the midfield positions here at the late stage of this season. While we see this hectic moment here in the pit lane, drivers coming in, coming out. Right now on a hot lap, it's actually no one on a hot lap, so the quali is taking a first breather. Multiple drivers on out laps, and now Kantan has turned to his first hot lap try. He is on mediums with 10.5 minutes left. I would like to suppose that he will just have 2 hot lap tries. So this one, and in case he doesn't abort it, another one later then on softs, maybe / probably. And simultaneously on a hot lap now, the other drivers who haven't set a time, that is Leonard Cam, Stuart McDonald by his real name, and David Lawson. Lawson is trying it on mediums too. The Melbourne track is a track where you can have an advantage if you start on mediums, because yellow to white as a one-stop strategy is possible. If you start on softs, it will be very hard to go on one-stop. Soft to hard is possible, but very difficult. But as much chaos as this track tends to cause, it is highly likely that we will have at least one safety car phase, and that could make it possible for the soft starters to set up a working strategy in the race then. While we have seen Kantan posting a good lap time, what was it? 120 low. Let's have a look. 121.1. Giving him P4, and he did it on mediums. So good hot lap time for him. Kantan, who had a very good start to his MIS season, incoming this year, newcomer, together with some real life friends, and he had the hottest start, you got to say, we all got to admit, and after, what was it, 6 or 7 rounds, he was leading the way big time, really far away of everyone, and then he started slumping. While we see Peter Simpson improving by over half a second, so that might give him the pole back. And yeah, to finish the Kantan story, he had some bad race results after his hot start, then missed a few races due to moving to another flat, and all of a sudden he was down and away from the championship lead. And Seymour, yes, got it back. Seymour back in the pole, distancing Ricky Kuao, who is new in P2. Ricky Kuao by half a second. Ricky Kuao is on an outlap on mediums. I'm not quite sure what he is intending. I doubt that he can improve his really good time on softs with mediums now. Meanwhile, everyone has set the time, just the time of Mercyman, Martin Warden, not that competitive with 7 seconds behind. They are just improved it, but still 5.8 seconds behind Peter Simpson. But he will not be last. He will not be in last position. Last one will be the only one who was unable to post a hot lap time, and that is Nevi Zekic. So what else is important, or what else is eye-catching on the standings right now? Maybe the fact that Jarne van de Bril is only in 12th. Let's have a look. There he is, just locking up the front rear tire when we jump to him. Van de Bril, rookie of the first season, but his second season, yeah, he could not quite show the good results again, like in season 1. He got promoted into our admin connection, our admin team, but on the track he did not quite improve. Where will the time stop for him on his second hot lap try? 5th best. Not bad, but over a second behind Peter Simpson. Right next to his teammate, next to this man. Torpedo Jack Rognan, and he is second. So the two Ferraris are not lining up next to each other anymore. Rognan in P2. 4.5 tenths behind Simpson, and Rognan now has to hurry. He has 4.5 minutes to get back to his pit crew, mount fresh tires, and get over the start-finish line again to start a new hot lap. Or he might already be finished. No one on a hot lap here right now. Quali is taking another breather until the hectic last few minutes will begin. A lot of drivers still in the pits. Let's have a short look at Kantan and Leonard Cam, the only two drivers who are on a hot lap here. Kantan coming towards the end of Sector 1. And he's improving by half a second. That is good. That is good, but it's very close where he is at. So with half a second of improvement, that would only give him a place somewhere around the washes, P5, P4, P5. He is not fast enough to attack a pole position. He is building on his time. 7/10 now the improvement, and Leonard Cam just behind him. Not sure if I saw it. 6/10 of improvement. So here is Kantan. We stay with Kantan for the moment until he is finished with this lap. Kantan finishing this lap. Kantan finished on the quali, and he's got it. He has got the pole. Can you believe it? I said he could not, but yes, he could. It was very close, just 1/10 ahead of Peter Simpson, but still, pole is a pole, at least at the moment. And Leonard Cam could not improve. Leonard Cam still sticking on P12 where he was before. So the fight for the pole is on. Kantan has struck for the first time. Now it's about Zemo and maybe this guy, Ricky Kuao, to counter. Maybe Rocker, but he's still in the pits. Maybe Dominic Walsh on an outlap. Dom Walsh, the place where he won his first championship. And on another outlap is likewise Blake Gary and Andrew Mont. A bit further behind, David Lawson, I think, is finished. Could not improve any further. Martin Ward is still running on outlap. Ricky Kua, by the way, improved by 2/10. So that would only give him the push ahead over Rognan, who is sitting in the pits. Rognan is finished. He cannot improve himself. So if Kuao jumps ahead of Rognan, this will stay that way. And with 1 minute remaining, Kuao finishes his quali and is in fourth. And stays fourth. Very close. Just 8 thousandths. But he is behind Rognan. And there is Peter Simpson. Improving almost 2/10 his improvement in Sector 1. In Sector 2, he has built on it a little bit by half a tenth. Oh, and he lost it! He lost it! He didn't lose his car entirely, but he was running into the dirt, into the grass and gravel on the exit of turn 12, and this is likely to be the end of this hot lap. He looks slow. I suppose he has given up on it. I think that is it for Peter Simpson. Yes, it is. Kantan has the pole, at least for the moment. Is there anyone else able to attack him? What does Dominic Walsh do in the penultimate turn? Now the last turn. Last right-hander, and he has lost it. He ran into the walls. He cannot improve himself anymore. Dominic Walsh finished in 5th. Where is Tom Walsh, the other man, the other Walsh, the other driver in the championship run? Where is silent quality from him thus far? P6, that would be a disappointment if Seymour starts in second. So he needs to improve. 1.210 this improvement after Sector 2, that is not a lot. That is not much. That would just give him the push ahead of his brother. What does Tom Walsh do here in the late stage of the track? Penultimate turn and then the last right-hander. Right here where his brother just threw it away a few moments ago. And Thomas Walsh is 5th. only 5th. Just as expected, the lap time was good enough to push him just ahead of his brother. And one driver is still running, and that is Jarne van der Bril. 2/10 of improvement. And can he push ahead over Andrew Mons? Ah, didn't see it. The session has finished. Yes, he is 7th. He did have the push over Andrew Mons. So this is our starting grid for the race. Kantan into the pole. Right next to him, Peter Simpson. 3rd, Jack Rognian. And then 4th, Ricky Kuau. 3rd starting row belongs to the Walshes, Thomas and Dominic. Then 7th, Janne van der Bril. 8th, Andrew Mont. 9, Grimo Goodman. 10th, Ryan Price. 11, Blake Gary. Free tire option from here on. 12th, Mike Taylor. 13, Leonard Camp. 14, David Lawson. 15, Martin Ward. And 16, with no time set, is Nevis Ikic. So our drivers have approximately half a minute of time to get the strategy set up, and I will be back with you as soon as we turn towards the installation lab. So here I am again. Here we are already at the midway mark of our parade lap. Let's have a short look about the tires that I used. The top 10 has to start on the softs they have qualified on, of course. Blake Gary in 11th does so too. Fresh softs for him. And then we see Mike Taylor in 12th, starting on hards. Leonard Cam 13 on softs again. Lawson on hards. Martin Ward, the only one who opted for mediums. And Nevis Ikic on softs. So that should be an advantage for Ikic in the early stage, in the first few laps. Two minor things, background things. First is that tonight are two football Euro matches. I have turned them on a stream next to me, so I will keep you updated about that if something happens there, in case you listen to me live right now. And second, in my home region, there are some warnings for thunderstrucks, and I had a situation on Monday in the Dragon Force Racing League that I broadcast. I had to pause for 2 or 3 minutes to get everything around my house set up and close the window and all that stuff for some incoming thunderstrucks. And yeah, so I don't hope this will be an issue, but maybe I will have to be silent for a moment or two in case it's getting the same intensely as it was on Monday. Let's just wait and see how things will turn out. Meanwhile, our starting grid has found each starting box here. And the 5 red lights of Melbourne. And then we have a go in Australia. Good start from Kantan. I would like to say in the background everything went smoothly from the getaway into turn 1. The Renault is ahead. Renault of Simo should be ahead. Yes, Simo is ahead. Then Rocknian and Kantan. Kantan dropped 2 positions in the first turn. In the background, oh, we see 2 Alpha Tauris collide and with an Alfa Romeo ahead. A bit of debris flying off. There should be some noses damaged. The Ferrari of Van de Bril needing to go through the grass there. Here is Jack Rognan chasing after Peter Simpson, who had a good start. Here's the tire strategy presented by the Amazon Web Services, by the way. Oh, first penalty for Grimo very early. Yellow in sector 2. I think that was Martin Ward. Oh, and let's catch it. Where is it? Oh, there is Ricky Kuao right on the place I mentioned, on the graveyard, where we probably see quite some DNFs. He did not DNF. He did not crash his car totally, but lost everything he got. And there he's out again on heated tires. And Dominic Walsh into the pits. It was Dominic Walsh, the Alfa Romeo that I saw, who had a crash with both the Alpha Tauris. He's into the pits, likewise to Grimo. That was one of the Alphas who was involved there. It was actually both Alphas involved. Have a look. And Ricky Kuao goes on. Interesting. So no damage. His tires just were heated. And he decided to stay out on them. And here we are with our leader, Peter Simpson. Already 1.6 seconds away from Rognan. 1.5 laps, 1.5 seconds of gap. And it really looks like as if Simpson would make a big step forward in the championship fight, at least as things stand right now. But we still have a lot of racing ahead of us, and one does not race anymore for tonight. That is Blake Gary. Where is he? There he is, right in the middle of the road. My goodness, very awkward standing there. Yeah, Ricky Kuao is too far away. He cannot film it to us again, I suppose. But Jack Marshalls will get rid of his car. No, there is still Williams. And what did I say? The Formula 1 graveyard spots right here. Williams still there. Not vanished yet by the track marshals. Now yellow is over. We're back to green. It's interesting in which conditions the game decides on having a safety car phase and when not, because we have seen safety car phases for less dramatic incidents, and now there was a Williams awkwardly standing over the road, and we did not have a safety car. And we have someone, Ikic it was. Nevis Ikic has lost his car. He lost his nose. Oh my. Totally zero downforce on the front wing. He needs to watch out now to get his car back home to the pits. Gary is gone, so Blake Gary, very sad that you only had a 2-lap race. I hope you will stay with us or enjoy your evening with watching Germany versus Hungary in the Euro tournament. And so, what else is important? Let's have a look at our leader battle. Actually, not leader, but following the leader. This is Rognan leading the way from Tan, but Tan in the Williams is close. 3 or 4 tenths behind Rognan. But now he will turn into a phase of the track where you do not want to have the dirty air effect. Showing himself left and right, and oh no! Wow. He lost his car on acceleration, but no damage to his nose. I think he just scratched alongside the wall there. But he's still running, his tires might be heated and a bit more degraded than before. Leonard Cam now behind him. Wheel to wheel into turn 30, no hard fighting. But Leonard Cam muscled through eventually. Yeah, and Rognan is now sighing in relief. Because Tan, who was so close to him, is gone now. Tan trying to get back the position from Leonard Cam. Yes, he does in the DS zone. Second DS zone still in favor of Tan. He is allowed to open up the rear wing. So Leonard Cam needs to watch him go and just wait for the next phase, the next moment. Stay inside the 1 second window, of course, and have a look. That is not easy. Have a look how fast Tan is. Really pushing away, almost out of the 1 second window already after just 3 or 4 turns. And he's out of the 1 second window. Incredible. Tan does have a monstrous pace, a monstrous race pace. But yeah, you know how it is with spinning on turn exits. That can destroy a race, and that just happened to him. And now he'll close up to Ryan Price, who, by the way, right here, is battling against Andrew Mant. He is either being held up by the monster, or he is just faster than him due to the DRS zones. I know, it was... He either had a bit of problem there in the last turn, or he is struggling connection-wise. No, I wanted to go this way. So there is no X or no warning next to Ryan Price's name, so no indication that he might have a bad connection. Yeah, but we just saw what happened, and Tan is catching up and trying to get another position back. So Ryan Price, instead of attacking Mont, he now has to defend himself against Tan. Ooh, and there was just no chance for the defend. It was a bit of a tag, wheel to wheel, but that was okay. It wasn't a big thing. No bad intention. Ryan Price just surprised about the pace from Tan. And who's next? Who's next? This one, Andrew Mont. We can easily stay with Tan because he is now the only driver who is in a DS window. And have a look, Andrew Mont. Yeah, gifts him the position with pitting. First driver to box after just 5 laps. 6 laps actually. So the used softs from the quali did not age very long. Just 6 laps possible for Andrew Mont. The others are still running. So the top 7 are still running on their starting softs. And now Van de Bril, have a look. Van de Bril getting closer to his teammate, should be inside the DRS window. Now he has dropped out a bit. The detection is right here. Will he be equipped or not? Yes, he is. The red sponsorless rear wing is open. Yeah, the Ferraris have been a very, very good team this year. Very unfamiliar, un-Ferrari-like. But that gave them P1 in the Constructors classification. So both the Ferraris, the most consistent point scorers, and they are they battling against each other? It doesn't look like right here. It did not look like all season long. They are in P3 and P6 in the overall standings. And it's really looking like they are on a mission to acquire the Constructors Championship. And that's why I'm very curious if they will fight now or what they will do. Another one who is in the DRS window is right now Ricky Kuau, the second Renault. Now he's out again on his old softs against the fresh medium runner Andrew Mant. So Mant was under pressure before his pit stop, coming out of the pits, and he's under pressure again. But now it looks like that Mant on his fresh mediums maybe can crawl away a little bit. 1.5 seconds now the gap. And in the top 3, Van de Bril has come closer to his teammate. Let's jump back to the Ferraris. Here we go, just 3.5 tenths now between Van de Bril and Rognan. So the question mark is getting bigger. What will the Ferraris do? Here's the view over the rear wing from Rognan. Oh, and behind there is... So, and just right now, it seems like that my actually pretty good headset is having some troubles. While we have a safety car. Because Mercyman has crashed. There he is. Second one to crash his car in the turn 12 graveyard. So this is a big advantage now for the top 4 who have not stopped, who are still running on the starting softs, and maybe a big disadvantage for those who just stopped, like Rognan, like maybe Ryan Price too. And by the way, I can tell you right in the moment, Hungary is leading 1-0 over Germany. Yeah, okay, I am still a bit wondering what happened to my headset. I was just surprised that I wasn't I couldn't be heard anymore. Luckily I have always a second headset in my ear to listen to myself if everything is fine. And I realized that it wasn't fine. So I'm not sure what happened. I hope that technically everything is fine and that these issues do not occur again, but can't promise, of course. Simo into the pits. Yellow tires for him. Likewise, 2 Jahre Vandebrill. Thomas Walsh into yellows for him. Leonard Cam in. Lawson does pit too on his hards. Interesting. There we see Bernd Mailander waiting for Simpson. And Thomas Walsh. Have a look. Thomas Walsh this way, slotted in between the Ferraris. Thomas Walsh was chasing both the Ferraris. Rognan pitting earlier. And that was, yeah, okay, he couldn't know it, of course. That was bad luck for Rognan. He couldn't know that just a few moments afterwards Martin Ward would crash his Red Bull. And that was a problem. That costed him a place. But Tom Walsh committed a mistake. Because... Yep. Oh, we have even 3 drivers who speeded in the pit lane. Taylor, Kantan, and Thomas Walsh, all of them with plus 5 seconds penalties for not braking fast enough in the pit lane. Kantan has returned into the top 5. Just remember, he was a pole setter. He was, after the start, he was in 3rd and then spun out. He was buried down the field a lot more places. Now he is back at least into 5th. Leonard Cam in P8 on his fresh hards, likewise to Ryan Price. Maybe they will try and go through over the rest of the race on this fresh set of hards. And so maybe 2 does Ricky Kuau and Grimo and Dom Walsh. Dominic Walsh, bad luck for him, of course, too, with this safety car phase. He dropped down a lot of positions here. And David Lawson, another bad luck situation. That's just why I don't like to start on hards, because you just have one set of hards, and many drivers, almost half the field, is now on the way on fresh hards and probably can go through over the race. But Lawson can't, because he started on his one set of hards and this set is gone now and he is on softs now and he will have to stop again. So this might be a big disadvantage strategy-wise against the hard runners around him. Lawson now must push like hell. He must make his softs work and he must be faster than anyone around him. And hope for a second late safety car phase then, maybe. It's the only way how he can survive this race, how he can acquire a few points, maybe. So we should get the call right now. And yep, there it is. Lights are off from the car of Bernd Mailander. So the race will restart after this lap. Peter Simpson is pacing the field here in sector 3. And he will then all of a sudden... Oh yeah, okay. He was lagging a bit. It looked like he was running into the gravel pit. And here we go. Restart of the season. Simpson running away from Vanderbilt. That went pretty well. No attack from behind. Thomas Walsh is a bit closer. Rocknan too. We have the first attack from David Lawson against Mike Taylor. Is that true? Mike Taylor on 10 laps old softs. Did he really not stop? I can't believe it. I can hardly believe that Mike Taylor did not stop in the last safety car phase. Yeah, and Peter Simpson does what he does best, running away from everyone, already over a second away from Jan Vanderbilt. And then behind we have P2 until P5, who are rather close. So that is Vanderbilt, Walsh, Thomas Walsh, Rocknan and Kantan. We will have to wait one more lap until DRS is activated. So after the next lap it is. Kantan looks a bit jumpy here too. And after one lap, Pete Simpson is 1.5 seconds away, 1.7 now. So yeah, goodbye to the Renault. So this group is still waiting here, waiting for lap 15. We are already in the second half of the phase already. Right now is halftime. Everyone is waiting for the DS to be activated, and then we will see what's going to happen here. Kantan already shows himself in the rearview mirror of Rocknan. Maybe he's trying to detach him, or maybe does he attack him already here? Oh, he didn't. Ahead of turn 11, he just backed off. Oh, have a look how close he is in this phase. That should be a DRS zone as soon as it's activated. Wheel to wheel, and wow, Kantan doesn't even need DRS. And now he needs to stay close to Thomas Walsh, otherwise he might be chewed up by Rocknan again in the next lap. Kantan is 1.4 seconds away from Tom Walsh. That is not good because Rocknan is already so close. So maybe Kantan should have been a little bit more patient and wait for right here. Wait for the safety car. Wait for the DRS zone to start. And now it does not look like as if he could get into the 1 second window of Walsh ahead, because Walsh is on the faster medium tire, and then he will be under attack from Rocknan. So what else is important? There we see our host David Lawson on a mission. I mentioned it earlier. He needs to make his softs work, already 4 laps on them, so they have almost reached the halfway mark of the lifetime. Maybe they can have a little bit more now, as we had a safety car phase. He's chasing Leonard Cam on the slowest possible tire, fastest tire against slowest tire. So this should be an easy prey for Lawson. Next DRS zone right here. And let's see what's going to happen. David Lawson, the only driver I know who switched from controller to wheel and back to controller, and this looked very easy. Leonard Cam might have had a little bit of visit to the gravel there, but in the end I think it was not an illegal maneuver, was not unfair, so just a lot of faster pace for the soft runner. Safety car! Safety car! because Neves Ikic has ran into the barrier again. So this might now be right the safety car phase that Lawson was hoping for. And I am... Oh, what will happen now? I mean, the top three, Simpson, Walsh and Van de Brijl, all of them are still in need of another pit stop. Will they pit now? They would not have to. The mediums are still good enough, but they cannot run to the end of the race on this set of tire. So this is either a very good or a very bad moment to pit. Let's see, Simpson not, Walsh not, Van de Brijl not either, but Kantan does. Okay. Tan could have possibly run to the end on his hearts. Lawson in, I expected him to stop. That was the safety car phase he probably was hoping for in the end. He'll finish on mediums, that is possible. Dominic Walsh into the pits too. Let's have a look. There is Kantan out already again, even though he had a penalty. Then Lawson behind him. Leonard Cam on mediums. Ricky Kuau on mediums. Dominic Walsh mediums. Ikic in, of course. No, Ikic even had to wait. He needs a new nose, that will cost time. Then he needed to wait behind his teammate there. Okay, Ikic is last, but the good thing about it is that we have a safety car phase, so he can easily catch up to the rest of the field now. And we have both the Alfa Romeos in the two last positions. It's a bit harsh for this man, Dominic Walsh. The place he won his last and first championship, and now he is almost last. And ahead of him are actually not too many drivers who still need a pit stop. That means, there are some points possible for Dominic Walsh. There are some points possible, but not that many points, at least not how it looks like right now. And I hear the thunderstruck outside of my window, so I will take this moment of the safety car phase, one more lap of safety car, and I will take this moment to get all my windows closed and get everything set up for the next storm incoming. I will be back with you in a moment. So here I am again. The house is secured now and everything works. I hope my headset works too. I'm a bit cautious now and a bit insecure about my technical issues with my headset. And while I was running around in my house, I was rethinking about the race in Montreal. And we had a very similar situation there because a late safety car where Simo did not stop and he had to intensely nurse his tires until the end, and he told us that the rear tires were at 86% of tire deck, and he won the race with it. So this might be another race of the same category where he needs to do so in case if he wants to win this. For the moment, with 11 laps remaining, we have another restart leading by Peter Simpson ahead of now Thomas Walsh. So P1 and P2 are reunited, the two rivals for the championship. But Walsh has this 5 seconds penalty still in his backpack. This will be a big problem for him in the end. Then the two Ferraris reunited again. Vanderbilt over Rognern on more or less same old mediums. And then Andrew Mont in 5th. Good race, silently crawling up into 5th, Andrew Mont. But 12 laps old medium, so he needs to stop rather soon. And then if he stops after the safety car phase, he will be very far behind. He might even drop into last position as the field is so close right now. We have seen Tom Walsh needing a bit of grass there, exceeding the track limit a little bit. Kantan has overtaken Ryan Price here. And the battle of the two Ferraris, yellow in sector 3. Who was standing there? It's Kantan. No, sorry, it's Ricky Kuao, who was sidelined there. No DRS yet. In the next lap then, Rognern will have DRS against his teammate. It's either a bug or... I hope it's a bug. Otherwise, Rognern would be destroying his engine here. Mike Taylor dropped down 2 positions against both the the Alfa Romeo, who are now battling against each other. Nevis Ekic, upper position. Walsh, maybe the counter? No. D-Killer Ricky Kuao has pitted meanwhile. Fresh softs for the end. And Dominic Walsh against Nevis Ekic here into turn 12. No, turn 13. Wheel to wheel. They leave each other's space. Still wheel to wheel. Ekic in the better position. Now better position for Walsh, but he's not there anymore. DRS enabled now. What are the Ferraris doing? No DRS yet, as we didn't have a detection zone yet. Let's sit on the shoulder from Jagger Rognern here and have a look. Simo in the lead has pushed ahead a little bit, not as big as earlier, but far enough to be out of the 1 second DRS window. Now Tom Walsh is in again. Now Tom Walsh is in, and what is going to happen here with the Ferraris? Next DRS zone upcoming, right here. The Red Wing is open. Oh, have a look, there is Kantan! There's Kantan! Rognern can not only focus on attacking his teammate, because there is the Williams pushing from behind. And this is an even more interesting situation now, because the Ferraris have to decide what to do. And if they do nothing, they might get chewed up both by the Williams. Meanwhile, I can tell you, in the football tournament, Portugal, I repeat, Portugal is ahead of France. One sip over France and attack from Kantan. Rognan with a lock tire. No Vanderbilt ahead. And Rognan has defended it for the moment. On the other hand, maybe Vanderbilt can tow Rognan now. If Vanderbilt stays inside the 1 second window, Rognan will always have DRS and could use that as a defense maneuver, as a defense weapon against the Williams. Very interesting phase here at the moment. Is it team tactical driving or not? Rognan is about to drop out of the DRS window. Meanwhile, I have always one eye on Tom Walsh, who is getting closer to Simo. Thomas Walsh inside the DRS window and closing the gap to Simo. And this is so important for the championship. And Ryan Price has spun. Oh no! Whoa! My goodness! My goodness, Mike Taylor! Have you seen this? My goodness, Mike Taylor. I think he touched him. I think Mike Taylor barely touched Price, but yeah, he has front wing damage. The end plates are missing, but this could have been a much bigger accident. And Taylor into the pits. And it was, once again, the F1 car funeral turn. And Ryan Price is out. Ryan Price has opted to give up, coming into the pits and park his car there and end his race. Let's have a look back again at this fighting group. Is it a whole group or is it just the Ferrari towing against the Williams? And now the attack not in a DS zone. Better lane for Rognan, and Kantan is through and now has DRS against Vanderbilt. I think that Tan touched the barrier there a little bit, but it does not look like as if there would be damage to here. Ikic against Dominic Walsh, the Alphas in an internal battle for P10 for the last point. I repeat it, Dominic Walsh is battling for 1 point against his teammate on the place where he won the championship last year. And ahead, let's have a look at the other Walsh. This is Thomas Walsh. He is very close now to Peter Simpson, both on old mediums. They both have to nurse them. They both cannot risk everything. They both need to make them last over the race. It does not look like as if any one of them would attempt or would consider another pit stop. And behind, no, Kantan has spun again. I just wanted to say Kantan is about to attack the other Ferrari, but he didn't. He spun again. I think on the same spot as he did before. Is that really possible? My goodness. Good day, and then a bad. And a good again, and then a bad again for Kantan. Yeah, and now both the Ferraris are safe again. And now he's sitting in the gearbox of Andrew Mont. Andrew Mont has a good race, but it looks like he is under pressure from behind all race long. Here again, the Williams with the RS attacking, wheel to wheel into turn 1. Mont stays ahead for the moment at least. Behind, Grimo is dropping positions. Both the Alpha Tauri is under pressure here. And Mont into the gravel. Andrew Mont has missed the braking point entirely. And now under pressure again. Andrew Mont is under pressure all race long. And now it is from Leonard Cam and Dominic Walsh applying the pressure on him. Oh yes, Mirko Caruso, who just posted, we do miss you too. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice vacation. I hope that you are enjoying yourself on the beach wherever you are. Yellow ahead, yellow ahead, yellow ahead! Kantan has spun! Can you believe it? On the graveyard. Didn't I say? Kantan in the Williams. Third spin of the night. So, yeah, Kantan's race is not 29, but 32 laps long, with 3 extra, laps around himself. So, let's get back to the battles. Andrew Mont has now dropped behind Len Notcam. And Dominic Walsh is close there too. This is the view of our reigning champion, who we search a successor for right now. And his brother is battling for a lot more. Thomas Walsh is chasing Peter Simpson into lap 27. 3 laps remaining in this race, with the top 4 plus Andrew Mont all having totally chewed up tires. They have to be old as hell, they have to be red, bloody red on the MFD. But Walsh just looks like he cannot come into a position to attack Seymour. Maybe Walsh is just trying or hoping to run Simpson into a mistake. We know that Peter Simpson is not bulletproof. Simpson lost last year's championship only because committing too many mistakes. He's better this year and therefore the leader at the moment. Next DRS zone, BWT is split. But no chance for an attack. No chance to get wheel to wheel, and his brother is chasing Lanotcam in the DRS zone battle for 5th, and Walsh. Oh, Lanotcam is still there. Now he got around him. Andrew Mont, 20 laps mediums. Wow. That is really a statement from him, staying out on the mediums so long. Is there an attack possible for Lanotcam to reconquer his position? Not at the moment. Does not look like, as he could be fast enough. And guess who has spun? Reminds me a bit of Felipe Massa in the rainy Silverstone in 2007, 2008 or so, when he had the massive amount of 7 spins. I think Valtteri Bottas did 6 last year in Istanbul. And this is getting closer and closer. Just 1 lap remaining, and Thomas Walsh just cannot get wheel to wheel. And even more important is the fact that Tom Walsh still has a 5 seconds penalty. And have a look, Van de Bryl is 4.9 seconds away. 1/10. This is actually, I think, the even more interesting topic, because if it stays this way, Thomas Walsh would drop down to 3rd, and then Peter Simpson would increase his championship gap by 10 points and not just 7 like it is right now. So this is momentarily, this is the battle for the lead and for the win. But actually the more important story is, will Tom Walsh be second or third? 4.8 the gap to Van der Breggen, 4.7 now. And Van der Breggen knows it. I am very sure Van der Breggen knows it. He is a very smart driver. Now it's over 5, 5.0, 4.9 again. Wow, it's tendering around the 5 seconds mark, and this is so important. So important. 3 points more or less of cushion for Peter Simpson after this race. For the moment, Peter Simpson has won the race, and that will stay that way. Congratulations to Peter Simpson winning another race. Thomas Walsh second for the moment, and Van der Breggen is second. Van der Breggen came into the 5 seconds window and beat Tom Walsh by less than 3/10. Tom Walsh eventually third. A good race after a maybe okay qualifying. Rognan fourth, Dominic Walsh coming up into 5th. Good final stint for him in the end. Andrew Mont, have a look, 23 laps on his mediums. My goodness, what an intense long stint for him on this set of tire. Driver of the day with his goggles, Mr. Leonard Cam, our single Scotsman for tonight, because the other Scotsman was not here tonight. Just right now cannot remember his name. It was not Matt Sneed. Who was it? I don't know. Can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Still one of the newer drivers to MOS, but he was inactive sadly tonight. Likewise to a few names I missed. But okay. Anyway, this is the final result of our Australian race. Peter Simpson has won it ahead of Jarne van der Breggen and Thomas Walsh. 4th, the other Ferrari of Jack Rognan. 5th, Dominic Walsh. 6th, Stuart McDonald. 7, Andrew Mont. 8 is David Lawson. 9th, Grimo Goodman, silent race for him. 10th, Nevis Ikic acquiring a point. He was down so long, but in the end he was rewarded with a point. Mike Taylor in 11th. Kantan, no, yes it is Kantan. Kantan and Ricky Kuau next to each other in P12 and 13. Not finished then Ryan Price, Martin Ward and Blake Gary. So meanwhile, in the Euro tournament, Hungary is still leading 1-0 over Germany and Portugal leading 1-0 against France. We are heading towards the halftime break, so second half we can all watch these games. Thanks for being with us here for race 17 of the Mainstream Racing Series in Season 2. We will be back next Wednesday evening, and then by Jeopardy we will head towards Austria. It's a bit ironic because we have 2 Austrian real-life Formula 1 races upcoming the next 2 weekends, and right in the middle of it we turn towards Austria, all by Jeopardy. And we always start at 7:30 p.m. UK time, 8:30 p.m. Continental. I would be very glad if you will be with us again then next week. If you want to be notified, just hit the subscribe button and you will get a message from YouTube when the stream goes online. Until then, I wish you a pleasant rest of your week. Have a nice weekend then when it's time. And stay safe in these times. And keep racing.